Rhys Hoskins decided to sign finally, and I'm saying finally because we're so late in the season, with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Opposite away, Looper, that's going to drop in for a base hit. Remuto scores here. Out to right center field.
Yes, you heard it. Rhys Hoskins signed with the Milwaukee Brewers for a 2-year, $34 million contract with an opt-out in 2026. Now, he's just coming off of an ACL surgery that he took him out the entire season last year. Obviously, the Phillies did not need him in the playoffs. Well, actually, that's probably super controversial because they didn't make it to the World Series, so maybe they did need him, now that I think about it. But they let him go, and it makes sense why. Phillies last year decided to move over Bryce Harper to first base, which kind of filled that slot to where Rhys Hoskins didn't have a place to be. And surprisingly enough, Bryce Harper performed pretty well. Why re-sign him and clear some room for cap space to make some moves? They haven't really made any moves. Kind of a loss there. I don't know what's going on with the Phillies. But Milwaukee is definitely making moves, and they decided to pick up a big bat that they really needed. The last season that Rhys Hoskins played, which would have been 2022, he was able to put up 246 batting average, 333 or 332 OBP, and a 462 slugging percentage. His OPS was a 794, which is, not exactly where you want to be. It slowly declined over the years. I mean, back to 17 when he made his major league debut, he had a 1.014 OPS. But, not too bad. His OPS plus is still over 100 at 123 in 2022, but he started off at a 162 in 2017, which is where he really made his name. Granted, he only played 50 games in 2017, but, he was able to kind of prove himself and put himself in the lineup with Philadelphia. In 2019, he had the most amount of walks he's ever had with 116. Now it's definitely dwindled down the very next year with only 29 walks, and then 2021 he had 47. But in 2022, he was able to get it all the way up to 72, which is a huge increase. And honestly, Milwaukee needs base runners, so they're looking at someone who's disciplined at the plate, who is going to get on base whether or not he's swinging the bat. Now, his projection this next season, according to Fangraphs, is going to be, he's expected to have 267 plate appearances. He's expected to hit about 13 home runs and drive about 35 RBIs. Now, hopefully his batting average does stay where it's at. They're thinking about 247 batting average with a 330 OBP and a 481 slugging percentage. It's not over the 500 where they want it to be, but he's still going to probably be an improvement from 2022. We'll see with that ACL recovery. Now he's coming back. He's had his full year to really get himself back into the game and then swinging the bat, and hopefully he doesn't aggravate that injury. Now he does have an opt-out after the first year, so if things don't work out mutually, they can go their separate ways. He still gets his money, but he can go somewhere else and at least take an option on the free agent market. Now, I think this is safe for the Brewers because they are committing to a lot of money, being at $34 million per year for 2 years. I mean, I know it's only like $17 million, give or take, per year, but that's still a big, deep cut for Milwaukee because, again, they are not a large budget team. They are small. They are smaller on that side. But they really did need to add some bats. Hoskins definitely needs a place to hit. He is a good bat, but they needed someone who's going to fill the role for someone at first base or DH. And Milwaukee absolutely needed to fill that hole. So it makes it kind of a perfect match because Philadelphia, like I said before, didn't have room for him. Now, defensively, let's keep this in mind. I don't think he is the best. Granted, I also want to say that at first base, he was kind of the worst in 2022. He was the number one in committing errors at first base. He committed 12 errors at first base in 2022. Whether he's improved his defense, that's still up in the air. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him. It's been a year. He could come back and have really worked on his defensive movements and everything, trying to stay safe on that knee. It could be part of his rehabilitation. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, over in Philly in 2022, he was the worst when it comes to committing errors. And that is something that they're going to have to, keep an eye on, maybe work on. When it comes to Milwaukee, he only has a couple weeks until spring training starts, but maybe in spring training he can really work on it and get comfortable back in that position and make up for that defensive decline that he kind of showed in 2022. 2024 expected 2.9 WAR. That's pretty good. That almost three wins above replacement. That's pretty damn good. That's something that Milwaukee definitely needs. The roster is not entirely too bad. I mean, last year they were the best in their standings. They finished with 92 wins and 70 losses, and now the only thing that really kind of kept them out of like advancing in the playoffs, I think, was bats. They just didn't have bats. Granted, they did lose a pitcher this last season. Hopefully they still have some time to sign some players when it comes to the rotation. Well, the Brewers could really use a guy who can hit the baseball. I'm harping on this, but I guess I can dig a little bit deeper. The only real surprise to this deal, I should say, is the money being spent. It's like the first multi-year contract that they've shelled out as a team since 2020, maybe 2021, if you count 2020. That was when they signed Colton Wong and Bradley Jr., I think it was. I should probably look that one up. And those were 2-year deals. Like, it's been a while since they've actually done a multi-year contract. Kind of worked out for them, being the fact that they took first place in the NL Central, but it didn't give them the extra push to make it all the way across the finish line. I see him coming back and actually being an asset to this team, which is very important. But it's hard to argue that this is not the smart move for Milwaukee. They basically, in like the last 5 years, haven't had a single designated hitter. That's if he's slotted for the designated hitter, or if he does play first base. I'm going to guess they're going to put him at designated hitter just because of that ACL, and because of how many errors he commits. So, I don't know, kind of tossed up. But designated hitters, like, none of them have had a WRC plus more than 83, which is dog shit. I'm just going to say it out there. It's the 4th worst in baseball total. And for a team to be number 1 in the NLC in the NL Central and have a designated hitter spot that is that bad, this is a huge positive, because he's going to be able to upgrade that even if he has a 90 WRC plus, even though he's expected to, I believe, have about a 114 to 116 WRC plus this year. So going from, if he is designated hitter, and I believe Fangraphs has him slotted for that at this point, they're pretty accurate in what they decide. Their average in the last 5 years, being at 83-ish or 82, is going to be bumped up all the way to a 115, 116. And that's just projected based off of his performance in the past, even with a year break due to an injury. So, huge upgrade, very low risk for a negative effect on the team. And I can't emphasize enough that this was probably the best move for the Brewers, and that this is probably the exact team that he should be playing for. Even if he doesn't pan out and he just doesn't do what he's expected, it's probably still going to be better than what they had before. And that's why I say this was a great move by Milwaukee. Now, Fangraphs, as I take a look real quick, I mean, they have him slotted for first base. Now, it's probably, I get it does make sense, because you have Jackson Chourio at center field, which is where Yelich probably would have originally been. I guess they don't really have a first base option unless they wanted to bring in Bowers, but again, he batted like a 202 last season, and I don't know, I wouldn't really go with him, but you are taking that risk by putting Rhys Hoskins at first. With all those errors that he had, maybe he can redeem himself, but it's a big risk. Now, could Yelich play first? Because he was an outfielder and he had a good glove. There was a reason why that he was so recognized. It wasn't just his bat. Maybe. I mean, that's within the organization. I don't know if I'm going to push that too much, because I don't know. I don't really like taking players and putting them in new positions that they never played before and expect them to perform just as well as ever. This is very similar to this decision with Mookie Betts playing second instead of the outfield, just to make the lineup make sense and the outfield make sense and keep the lineup including everybody, and instead of trying to fill a bunch of DH slots. But we'll see how Mookie plays, and I guess we'll see how Rhys Hoskins plays at first, but hopefully he can get his errors down. This is just what Fangraphs is predicting. I don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I would feel much more comfortable with him as a DH, especially after an ACL tear. Now, the Brewers did lose one of their pitchers, Brandon Woodruff, and I would say that would be the complete kit for them to basically have a well-rounded team and feel comfortable with going into the 2024 season. But I mean, looking at everybody that's available, I mean, within their budget, I mean, the best option is probably going to be, I think it's Ryu. I forgot how to say his name. He's with Toronto. Starting pitcher, I mean, his projected WAR is only going to be a 1.8, but there's really not very many options out there on the free agents list at this point. But he is like, his median salary is 10 million, which is the lowest out of all the other options. You have Clayton Kershaw at 21, then you start getting into Snell and Montgomery, and they're 105 and 125 million projection. That's just not really an option for the Brewers, I think, at this point. Another person on the like, honestly, anything below them is going to be Trevor Bauer. I don't think any team wants to sign him right now, even though if I was the owner, I would absolutely bring him on and give him a chance as a 1-year option. He has the stuff. I don't think that he is going to cause any problems because I think he's in redemption mode. I think that this is his season to get on a team and prove himself to be mature, to perform, and to not cause issues within the clubhouse. Just completely banning somebody after they've kind of gone through the ringer and they have been, I would say, humbled by different experiences where they had to go play in other leagues and now they're looking to come back to MLB, and they were a former Cy Young Award winner. This could be an opportunity for a team to pick them up. Now, what his pay is going to be, probably cheap because of the fact that nobody has a market for him. But he can throw. He has a 1.6 WAR. If you need a number 5 starter, this would be the guy to throw in there. I think Trevor Bauer would be an option for the Milwaukee Brewers. Would the fan base like it? I don't know. It depends how much you really care about his antics in the past and what he's been accused of, that he was acquitted of and was proven that he wasn't doing the things that they were claiming. But he still does have a pretty crazy personality. This could be good for showbiz and maybe bring you more money. So, owner, you should probably keep this in mind. That's all I have for you guys today, Milwaukee Brewers. You did a good move. I still think you need to go to get a starting pitcher, especially since Woodruff is gone. If you guys like the video, smash the like button. Smash it real hard. And then also hit the subscribe button because this is a new channel. We're trying to build it. If you enjoyed the content, let me know in the comments. If you hated it, let me know in the comments. If you're a Milwaukee fan, subscribe, and then we can make more content together as you guys fill me in on stuff that maybe I missed and I don't know about, because you're closer to the team and you know the personalities and you know who might be able to start in first base so that Rhys Hoskins can play DH. Let me know. Until then, catch you on the next one. See ya.